President-elect Donald Trump meeting with Republican senators yesterday on Capitol Hill, discussing strategy for advancing his agenda, which should be their agenda. Despite saying he wanted to get everything done in one big, beautiful bill, the president-elect now saying he's open to separate bills. So what's the deal? Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin joins us now. He's in that meeting, of course, and joins us. Senator, what brought the president more open to two bills, which the Senate, in theory, wants, as opposed to what the House wants? What was going on behind closed doors that might have put a light on for him?
Well, Brian, what the president was very clear is he just wants results. He said he can wait if we can do one big, beautiful bill. He'd like to have one big, beautiful bill, but if the House were to get bogged down, maybe we have to divide it up in two. He also talked about his executive orders. He says, he has almost 100 executive orders that that'll go a long ways to securing the border again, and also put the energy sector back in play, and actually be able to spawn a drill baby drill process where we become energy independent again. And all that can be done through executive orders, but as he said, it's not permanent. I would like reconciliation so we can start making this stuff into legislation so we can move forward. If we can do one big, beautiful bill, as he says, then let's do it. If we have to have a contingency plan and drop it down to two, that's fine, just as long as we deliver for the American people on securing the border, on energy independence, on getting the regulations rolled back, and making sure that that we have taxes that are permanent, so we don't have a $4 trillion tax increase on the American people right now. Right. So the president was very clear he wants results, and he's willing to work with both chambers in it.
Right. And the theory is that people say that the speaker is working with a caucus that has no margin for error. Some don't like some Republicans don't like the president's tax reform. Some really want the border. So if you give something that they want in the big bill, they're more apt to sign on to it, as opposed to a narrow bill where they just say, I'm not in. But we'll see how it goes. If there's a spirit of cooperation like that, the Democrats seem to display, we'll see if that happens. So the big story yesterday, and will be around the country and possibly around the world, is the burning down of Southern California. And it's just odd. President Biden was forced to put off his press conference where he's going to make other land, like Joshua Tree, into a land that you couldn't drill on. He decides to go and appear with Governor Newsom, at which time he says this about the fires.
The good news is I'm a great-grandfather as of today. Oh, his granddaughter, 10-pound, 4-ounce baby girl, a baby boy.
Is that the best time to announce your baby boy, baby girl?
No, he's been an absent leader for 4 years. The Democrats have been covering it up. Now the media is coming out and saying that's the worst cover-up they had, and they regret covering for him. You have a leader that's not there. President-elect Trump has been the president since November 5th, basically now. And obviously he's leading from the front. He's also calling out Governor Newsom and Mayor Bass on their inadequate leadership. I get what people are saying, that the tankers were full and they ran out within hours. Hydrants are out. No one could predict this. That's not true. You can predict this, because that's why you put in hydrants. That's why you predict for the worst case possible. My wife and I, we live on a ranch, and we've lived there for years. That's where we raise our kids. We do controlled burns on our place every year because we're doing forest maintenance. This was predicted by President Trump 9 years ago, that this was a kennel that was going to have issues if they didn't do something, and they weren't even prepared. They didn't have the water, the reservoirs full. They cut the fire department's budget, and now you go in and your hydrants are dry because why? Because you didn't prepare for it. And then you have Governor Newsom that goes out there, Brian, and says that this is a local issue. No, it's a state issue at this point. There's tankers all around. You have emergency responses. You have a National Guard that you can employ. You get people moving, and you start fighting this fire.
Senator, if you're a leader and you're asked in the middle of a catastrophe what happened here, and you blame somebody else, you should turn in your leadership card. And that's
100%.
Hand over your captain's band. Senator Markwayne Mullin, thanks so much.
Brian, thanks for having me on.
Okay, and we'll talk to you again soon.